Good Thursday evening. Welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies Thursday Night Throwdown. It's me, it's the big guy KG, sitting in with the one, the only, Midnight Rider.
What's going on, man?
Ain't nothing much, man. I'm here, getting ready to start this thing off right. Shirt number 2 from the wife.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be a Rick and Morty month, so got to get that out there. First and foremost, how you feeling tonight?
I'm good, man. Real good. Trying to get myself together for this game too. Trying to figure out what I'm gonna eat. I know I ain't cooking, so it's gonna be another DoorDash night.
Ooh, where we DoorDashing from?
I don't know yet. I mean, District Taco has become a heavy favorite lately. I'm not even gonna lie.
Not even.
I get the 3 tacos, or I get the 3 tacos with the salsa on the side, so I can just pour that joint. Yeah. If I want to go hard, see, it depends on the time we stop, because then I can go to the joint called Beer Hands. I will not go, but I can have them delivered, and they got a sauce, man. I put that joint on the taco. I was in that joint crying. So it's like, okay,
oh man,
we can't just pour sauce from this place on stuff. Woo.
No. See, now if you're going to go District Taco, right across the street is Hot Dog. And I'm not sure if they're on the DoorDash menu.
I don't think so. But see, what's the other place? See, there's a place in Old Town. Can't think of the name of it now because I was going to do an alarm system for them. They do like those specialty hot dogs and all that stuff. It might be the same name. It might be Hot Dog, but I don't think it's that. It's something close to that. Because it's right around the corner from my joint, the Lost Dog Cafe.
I was just telling BJ about that yesterday. I was like, man, go down Virginia, get your little work, and then go to have lunch at the Lost Dog Cafe. I said the Midnight Rider and he didn't already vouch for him, so they good to go.
I used to have the one in Falls Church timed out so well because we'd leave the Skins game. I drop people off, and then I'm on the road going out to Virginia. I'm on the phone. Once we get to Memorial Bridge, calling my order in. Hey, I need 5 number 2s. Boom. Walk through the door. Ready to go. Still hot because it just came out the thing. So now in the drive time back, it's just, that's it. Add it to a science, brother.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. As you can see here, we don't just talk about sports. We talk about sports, life, fashion, food, anything you can think of, we talk about it here. But speaking of food, it pains me to say it, but I got beef.
Oh boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of America, all the countries in between, we are at a certain point in our existence that accountability no longer exists. One JJ Redick, sharpshooter in college, pretty decent role player in the NBA, great analyst on TV, great. But he made probably one of the dumbest takes the other day, saying that, well, John Morant didn't break any rules. Why is it such a big deal? Mr. JJ Redick, it's a big deal because you have a multimillionaire brandishing guns on the internet. The hell with him being a role model. I don't really care about that because, number one, he shouldn't be a role model. Like Charles Barkley said, I'm not your role model. I get that. But for him to be young and black, and he also has money, you shouldn't do things like that to draw attention to yourself. That's what's wrong with it. That's why it's a big deal. We got too many young black brothers that are out here in these streets, toting weapons, getting locked up. Some of them not even toting weapons. They're getting killed by police. They're getting killed by other people because, oh, I thought he had a weapon. You're putting your life in danger by doing it. That's why it's such a fucking big deal. You saying, well, oh, he didn't break any laws. No, he may didn't break any laws in your eyes, but he's being dumb. You're a millionaire. You should not be toting your pistol. Oh, I got a gun. Every time a camera's on you. I got beef with him saying that. That's where the problem is. Young black male with a gun. The hell with your status of in the NBA, anything. Young black male with a gun. That's where the problem lies. That's beef number one. Beef number two is with Mr. Steven Jackson. Don't have a problem with Stat Jack at all. That's my man. I don't agree with everything he does, everything he says, but I'm pretty cool with him for the most part. For him to, he said something that was actually true. He said John Morant has to be held accountable for this. He has to. But you post a picture of Chris Kaman from 2012, 2013, and 2016 of him, pictures of him holding guns, and oh, the NBA didn't do anything. Don't try to change this into a racial issue. This is not a racial issue. You are trying to change the whole narrative and make it seem like, oh, the only reason why the NBA is suspending Ja is because he's black. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Tell me one time Chris Kaman led his team in scoring. Tell me one time Chris Kaman led his team as the superstar, as the number one option. Tell me one time that Chris Kaman was ever the face of the fucking franchise. I'll wait. You tell me one time that Chris Kaman was that, I'll shut the fuck up. But you can't, because Chris Kaman was never at the level that John Morant is at. He was never at that level. That's why those pictures went unnoticed. They went under the radar for all this time. You dig them up, say, well, it's cool when they do it, but they mad when I do. No, it's not. It's not the same. Do not make this a racial issue and divide people more than we already are divided. Stop trying to find a way for him to get around this and get out of this. John Morant has to be held accountable. If he's not held accountable, you know what's going to happen? He's going to do it again. And I said something online, and I stand behind it. The first time he did it, okay, that was an accident. Times 2 and 3, nigga, it's a habit. That's what it is. It's a habit now. Like I always say when I got beef, if you got problems with anything I just said, Sideline Junkies. 24/7, 247@gmail.com. Make sure you put my name in the subject matter and we can discuss it like men. Or we can discuss it like adults, whatever you want to be called. But for the most part, JJ Redick, you don't know why it's a problem. It's a big deal because it's stupid. It's dumb. With the climate that we're in this country, he don't need to be brandishing no weapon like that, riding in no car, no line. You making yourself a fucking target. That's a problem. That's why it's a big deal. For Steven Jackson, you bringing up Chris Kaman? What the fuck? What team did Chris Kaman do? Where was Chris Kaman ever the face of Nike, Reebok, Adidas, Puma, Pro Wings? When was he ever the face of any of that? He wasn't. John Morant is what? The face of Nike? The face of the Memphis Grizzlies? And he's one of the best players in the league. When has Chris Kaman ever been at that level? If you ever figure out when he's ever at that level, I'll shut the fuck up. But until then, stop coming up with this weak ass shit to coddle this boy. Hold him accountable. If he keeps making the same decisions, he has to pay for it. You cannot save him from it. He has to pay for it. If he does not pay for it, he's going to keep doing it. If you got a problem with it, then maybe you should get in his ear and talk to him. Show him some guidance or something instead of making up excuses why he do it or why he shouldn't be suspended. Please stop with that shit. And I'm done.
You sure?
I'm finished.
You're positive, because I don't know. I don't feel like you expressed yourself. Felt like you held back some.
And Leroy says, so it's okay for a low-skilled white guy to post pictures with guns, just asking. We didn't even know anything about this until earlier this week. You had to dig back 7 years. 2016. We didn't know anything about this. Who's to say that wasn't something else? I don't even know. But why is it even an issue? It wasn't an issue then. Why is it an issue now? That's my whole thing. That's like me saying, oh, well, I'm going to dig up, well, Karl Malone had guns when he was out on the hunting trip, so he should have been suspended in the 80s and the 90s. It makes no sense. It's a dumb argument because you're trying to say Chris Kaman did this. He didn't get in trouble. But Ja didn't. Ja got in trouble. No. You're trying to make it a race issue, and it don't need to be a race issue. Just the same way Gilbert Arenas got suspended 50 games. And Gilbert Arenas he wasn't even caught on camera. He brung the guns in the locker room and actually drew down on Javaris Crittenton. They drew down on each other over a gambling debt. Javaris Crittenton never played in the NBA again because, he was also convicted of murder. But Gil lost 50 games off of that. Wrong is wrong. But Ja has so much stuff that's come down the pipe. It's not just the 3 times he's been caught with the gun on camera. It's also
the incident outside of
the mall incident with the security guard, the putting the gun in the 17-year-old's face.
The red lights, the beams.
Oh, the beams at the Indiana Pacer players. It's so much going on there. Like, this is a running theme, and I'm not jumping on Ja Morant, but if you're going to say I'm defending him, defend him. Yes, okay, but don't make it okay for what he did. And Leroy says, so what if a present lower skill player does it? He should get the suspension too. Give me a lower tier white guy. I can't think of one right now. Let's say
Austin Reeves. Well, he's not lower. He's not lower. I will say Austin Reeves. I got one for you. He's too popular.
Dellavedova. Or what's my man out of Villanova? Was the MOP?
DiVincenzo.
Let's say DiVincenzo does the same exact thing. And let's put it on DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo does the same exact thing that Ja does. All the way across the board. Brandishing the gun 3 times on live. The incidents outside and off the court. The incident with the Indiana Pacers with the infrared beam. He should get the same damn thing too. It don't matter the skill, but you're bringing up Chris Kaman like Chris Kaman was a star. You bring up Chris Kaman about something 7 years ago. If you would have said something a year or 2 ago, I would have been like, oh shit. Well, damn.
No, if you said something 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
But you said something then it's different. But now it's like
it's a moot point to bring in Chris Kaman on any of this. Chris Kaman don't even play in the league anymore.
Nobody was wearing Chris Kaman jerseys. It's plain and simple.
My whole point, it's asinine to bring Chris Kaman into this about something from 11, 12, and 7 years ago. It's a moot point. Like you think you said something, but you really said nothing. You think you hot shit, but you cold diarrhea right there. It's just what it is. But it's also like everybody wants to make excuses. You want to coddle Ja. No. If Ja was my son, he would not get coddled. You're going to face all this shit because you brought it on yourself. I talked to Dario earlier today. That's my oldest son. He's 19. And I said, what do you think about it? He said, I don't understand why he got to keep showing his pistols. Why does he have to keep doing these things? It's not necessary, but you can tell when somebody just got a gun because they got to show it off. If Ja Morant hasn't learned anything, he needs to go look up Jason Williams. Jason Williams used to love showing off his guns. What happened with Jason showing off his guns?
He actually shot his limo driver.
Not only that, he almost killed Wayne Corbett one night when the gun went off and knocked Wayne Corbett unconscious.
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, let's not forget that. Now look at what happened to Jason Williams with that whole incident. He lost the rest of his career. He never came back from that. He never recovered from that. Well, let me rephrase that. He didn't lose the rest of his career. He lost his TV career because he had already retired. He lost his TV career, and he was really good on TV. He's not even the same person anymore.
Is he even out?
Yeah, he been out. He been out for years.
Okay, just checking out.
Yeah. And that's my guy. I love Jason Williams. I've always loved Jason Williams. I love Ja Morant. I just don't want to see him go down this road and everybody keeps saying, oh, man, he young. That's always the excuse. He young, man. You hating. Just let him have fun. That's not having fun. You are putting yourself in a situation that you don't need to be in.
Well, he's cost himself money. He's already cost himself, what, $40 million? Because he didn't get called. Right.
Now, here's the thing. God forbid he's out and he does, let's say he does not have a CCW. I don't know what Tennessee state laws are. I don't know if it's an open carry state or whatever. But let's say his paperwork's not right. He got that gun on. I don't know if Tennessee does like California, because California give you, 10 years for the gun and 5 years for every bullet. If that's the case, you fuck. And you can't blame nobody. You can't blame your boys. You can't blame your mama. You can't blame your daddy. You can't blame your sister. You can't blame the public. You got to take the blame yourself, because guess who's going to do that time? You. You got to think like that.
No, it's not even that, dog. It's all I keep hearing is that Eminem line, like, Ja's got two good parents. I guess somebody played that earlier. That's all I'm hearing right now when you're saying this.
But it's like true.
But it's just like, always had a rule, and it's like, stay true to you. You know, be who you are. Don't be who you think the world wants you to be. It's not a platform to display, you know, what you thought you could be. Just be you. Be comfortable. If you a nerd and you like wearing shirts and that talk about certain characters and watching anime, that's you. Because you're going to get the chance to be one person, that's you. So, yeah, man, like, stop trying to be something you're not if that's not your thing, because what's going to happen is the world going to come asking for receipts. So that's why you got to be careful, man. Know your platform.
Find your lane and stick to it.
There we go.
And it's nothing wrong.
Hold on. Time out. So you sent me a video, and your beef is with the Ja situation?
I sent you. Which video did I send you?
Where the guy was talking about, when he was talking about 5 guards, point guards, and it was Magic, Steph.
Oh, you talking about Shannon Sharp? Okay. He didn't have John Stockton on there. Man, that's a different beef right there. Like, he gotta call me on that one. Forget that. Like, I'm willing to leave my daggone phone number on Twitter, because he need to call me about that.
That's what I thought the beef was. So you caught me a little off guard with this one. But we good.
That is a beef, but that's a personal beef. I need to call Uncle Shannon Sharp about that. Like, what the hell you mean? John Stockton ain't the number 2 overall point guard of all time. You got Steph Curry ahead of John Stockton? Never. Different topic. Not gonna do it. Okay. But this whole Ja Morant thing, and you can't excuse what he's doing or what he has done because he's 23. Granted, we all make mistakes. But once you start doing the same thing more than once, it's no longer a mistake and it's a habit.
Well, I know a lot of places that used to have rules where, like, you come in their house, cell phones go into like a basket, or they got cell phones in little different, like they got those little holders, and people's cell phones go on that, and then you go do whatever you do and come back. You know, instead of always brandishing your phone. And I feel bad for his boy, because like his boy was like, ooh. And when he saw the gun, he like dropped it, like, So yeah, man.
And that's another thing. I wish I had that loaded up too. We always go with Ray Lewis quotes. When the eagle's flying and the eagle sees another bird, and it's an eagle, and it's not an eagle, you're not flying high enough, because if an eagle moves up, it's only going to fly among eagles. You show me your crowd, and I'll show you your future. Show me Ja Morant's crowd, and I'll show you your future. Because if I'm his boy, and I already know he done got in trouble, you're not bringing that pistol out the house, Slim. We ain't on that type of ride. We ain't doing none of that. You're not bringing that out the house. You don't need to.
Shit, his boy should be like, you ain't messing up my money. If we're gonna be real, because if that's his boy, like it's his boy, if I'm on making 219 million, you got a $75,000 job or a $100,000 job just being my boy. You know what I'm saying? I could give you a title. You know what I'm saying? Boom, 100 grand, we good.
You would think so.
But I don't know, man. I'd be mad at you for getting in trouble because you messing up our money. Because that's exactly how I say it. You messing up our bag.
And everybody always talks about generational wealth. Ever since the pandemic started, everybody talks about generational wealth. You know, when you get your STEMI check, you create an LLC, and then they never tell you steps 3 through 6, and then they say, boom, generational wealth. They never tell you steps 3 through 6. So, you know, you got to figure that out. You know, 7 is generational wealth. But Ja Morant has generational wealth. The amount of money that he signed, he probably, if he keeps at this pace as a player, he'll get another big contract. But then you got endorsements and all of that. He's going to have money for generations. All he has to do is be smart with it. But
he's what, year 4 or year 5?
Is it year 4 or 5? I got to look that up.
I got to check that out because I know normally they do with a contract extension at year 3 because your first deal is normally 4 years.
Mm-hmm. He went in the 2019 draft. So this is what, year 4.
Yeah, so that's the bag he messing up.
And he's been this is the thing though. The kid's a talent. And I have no denying that he's a talent. All-Star in 22 and 23, NBA all NBA second team 22, most improved player 22, rookie of the year in 20, all rookie first team in 20.
So let's wrap this one up. Just the B part. Let's wrap this up because I think we gave him enough time for Ja. Unless somebody in the comments got something.
Yeah. But stop making it a race issue. Stop coddling. Hold him accountable. That's it, and that's all. That's it. He has to learn from his mistakes, yes. But you excusing his mistakes by saying, well, so-and-so did it and ain't nothing happened, that don't mean it's going to happen to him.
Right.
It's a lot of things that people before me did, and I got caught for. Yep. I couldn't say, well, I couldn't go to my mother and say, my sister did this, so why I get in trouble for it and she didn't.
Right.
9 times out of 10, you probably get your ass whooped even more for even bringing that shit up because you a snitch. So you gotta worry about that too. But it's the same deal in real life. You worried about what somebody else didn't get caught for, as opposed to, well, y'all being too harsh on him. No, we're not. Accountability. That's the word for the week. Accountability. Have some. Next topic. Jordan rules. We had a discussion during Tuesday Night Flight, and the Midnight Rider, I said Jordan made the playoffs every year he played. He said, whoa, he didn't make the playoffs till Scotty get there. No, Jordan made the playoffs every year as a Bull.
No, I say he didn't advance until Scotty got there.
Well, no, he didn't advance.
No, he made the playoffs.
He made the playoffs.
Yeah, because the infamous 63. So I know he made it. And I just know he didn't make it every year he was in the league.
No, the only 2 years he didn't make it was the 2 years of the Wizards.
Okay.
And the thing is, the first year with the Wizards, before he got hurt, they were actually in the playoffs. I think they were like the number 6 seed. And they collapsed after that.
Oh, nobody liked him.
Yeah, apparently that's what Wes Unseld said. Wes Unseld said nobody liked him.
It was evident.
Oh, man. But MJ did make the playoffs as a Bull every season. Even when he came back and he played, what was that? 19 games in 95. And everybody always says, well, MJ lost to a young Magic team. I said, well, you got to realize that was like that series was what? Shit. In 95 when they lost to the Magic. That was like what? Game number 25, 26 back?
Yeah, he wasn't back that long. Yeah. Right.
But everybody always brings that up. And I'm like, okay, you bring that up. But this the same Magic team that struggled to put Chicago away in 95 got swept in 96.
You know, that's a part of Shaq's legacy that people don't always talk about. There's a lot of sweeps. There's a lot of there's even some 4-2s in there that shouldn't be 4-2s. I mean, part of the problem was he was dragging Eddie Jones along for some of that. So, yeah.
I'm gonna let you have it. You got it. I'm not even doing this with you tonight. Not gonna do it.
No. You know what made me think of it? Because I'm watching the game and they got the RV section, and you saw there was a truck towing something. So that made me think of Shaq towing Eddie Jones and the rest of the Lakers to getting beat by the Spurs or Utah or whomever. My bad.
Utah was just a complete team. Most people would say, well, Utah didn't have nobody. They were just a complete team. They know how to play with what they had.
And we had Eddie Jones and Odin Campbell.
The Big Easy was a great addition.
Who?
Big.
Man, I'm not getting this argument with you.
Because you don't want to admit it.
He used to get punked by Karl Malone, and then he'd be out his game, and the next thing you know, he ain't showing up the rest of the game, and then I gotta watch Eddie get abused by Hornacek. I mean, it's clockwork. Like, I knew what was coming. I know the story. That's why I was glad he was gone. Nobody else understands my pain.
Eldon Campbell,
boy.
backing up Shaq. It was like it was no trade-off because you still got scoring. You just didn't have the power, but you still got the same scoring and some defense. It was better than Sean Rooks. Shit.
Okay, man. So let's we got the Jordan rules. What's next, man? I'm not continuing this argument with you.
Because you know it's a losing argument. You're not gonna keep hating Eddie Jones.
See, the problem is for you, this is information. For me, I lived this pain. You know what I'm saying? I had a roommate in college. What was that? Is that 95, 96? When in that range? So that's when I'm rooming. So my roommate is a Spurs fan. So our room was always divided. Our house was divided. It was Eagles, Redskins, and Spurs, Lakers. He was my boy, but he was always talking trash. So
you also talk about Karl Malone punking Big Easy. But I can name a lot of players that Karl Malone punked. I've watched Karl Malone punk David Robinson.
Well, David Robinson, okay, that's not a good example. Because if you ever read the Rodman book, that series against Houston, the year that Robinson won the MVP and Hakeem didn't, Hakeem put a show on. Yes. I think Hakeem averaged like 36 in that series or something crazy. And every time they would come to the bench, one of the excerpts was like Robinson was like begging Rodman to switch because he was getting torn up. So that's why I didn't like David. Plus, he played for the Spurs. And for some reason, we're getting off topic. All right. We're on the right topic when we talk about the Lakers.
Yeah, right.
The wrong topic because we're talking about the wrong year. We need to be talking about the 2023 Lakers. Let me stay focused.
Okay. And we got to come back and let's go ahead and jump over to that. NBA Conference Finals. Lakers versus Nuggets was night before last. Geez. Why can't I get it? I can't find it. Hold on. I just had it.
Wasn't it like 132, 126?
It was close. And
LeBron comes down with probably about a minute and some change left, and he does he I call it LeBron Curry when he does his little step back three. He takes like two. I know when it's happening because it's the way he sets it up. It's like a too hard dribble, and it's a step. And I've seen the show too many times.
It was 132, 126.
So
the Lakers. This is scary right here. 23 and 8 from Austin Reeves. 23 points, 8 assists. LeBron James.
No. I need you to go somewhere else. I know where you want to go with this, but I need to redirect you.
Okay.
So there's D'Angelo Russell was like what 4 for 11.
Yeah, he only had 8 points.
Okay. Vanderbilt probably gave us nothing.
0. 1.1
Rui
rebound.
gave us 15.
17 and assists.
There's somebody else I'm looking for. Austin's always do his thing. D'Angelo's the big key. What's that other kid that comes off? Who's the other guy we played off the bench?
Walker.
Yeah, Lonnie probably didn't have a good game because he was probably like 0 for
6 points, 2 rebounds.
Right. So I say all of that, and there's a reason why I'm going through those players. Because our superstars are going to show as long as AD don't hop in the wheelchair, we'll be okay. But we need, and what I thought about, see, everybody's hopping on, the switch to Rui is what changed the course of the game. That didn't really change it. Because teams, when they get up by big digits in this league, they tend to get lazy and they go away from what was working. So I'm not completely sold on the Rui factor. I also want Schroeder's another person that probably needs to be in that category. Those are the guys that we need to step up and have better games because then we can filter everything else. I would even like to see LeBron on Jokic because Jokic is he's big. He's not really fast, but he's got enough guile, and that's the word I'm going to use. He's got enough guile to get around. He's crafty. You know what I'm saying? He's got enough of that to where he can get to certain shots. And then I also think they lost by, 6?
Yes.
And if I take those two, that Hail Mary that he shot off his back foot and looked like he just tossed it up, and there was another one that Jamal Murray hit, we got a top ball game. Like, it's not – like I felt like they got their run and they got hot. But you're at home, your role players sleeping in their own bed. You know what I'm saying? Wives kissing them before they go to work, or their girlfriend, whatever one they got, or their 2 girlfriends, whatever. I don't hate on no man in his prophecy and how he carries out his relationships. But whatever it is, if you look at it, role players always play good at home, and that's what they got. And the problem that LA had was they let the role players shine early. And Jokic, I give him his props. He was a mastermind and making sure he kicked it and got everybody else involved. And then he got himself going. So that was the beauty of that game. You know what I'm saying? Even Jeff Green came out and played well. You know what I'm saying? And Jeff's another guy that he just knows where to go. And he always does it in the playoffs. He's one of those guys that's a great leader. I would love to see Jeff in coaching because I think he can coach. I think he'd be a good coach. But it's just one of those things where you get certain teams. And I think the media just jumped on this Rui thing. Like it was like chum in the water with a bunch of sharks. Like I really don't think the Rui thing is enough. Because if I'm the coach, I don't watch the Rui matchup and that's all I focused on because that's all you focused on. I know what else I got. So let me look at this and really see if Rui did something or really us. And I guarantee you he's going to look at shot selection. He's going to look at the percentages. He's going to realize that we really stepped off the throttle. So this Rui thing ain't nothing but a thing. That's why he said the comment he made. He said, I bet you Darvin Ham wished he woke up this morning up 1-0 instead of being down 0-1. That's a deep comment because he's telling you that it's easier for him to coach and try to figure this shit out up 1-0. But since he's down 0-1, now the pressure stays on him. And they say pressure will make a monkey eat a hot pepper. I don't know where Brinson Buckner got that from, but he used to say it every time on the show. They also say pressure make diamonds. So you take which version of the pressure thing you want, but that's what's been said. So when I look at this game, this is one of those games that they can't press, but they gotta. This is one we gotta get. We gotta get this one.
Okay. Austin Reeves.
And thank you, Washington, for giving us Hachimura. No, because what it is like people don't understand when you put a guy in a winning culture and you give him structure, he plays better basketball.
That's true.
So when everybody looks at the Spurs, you see what people fail to realize is you got a structure in place. You got how we do things. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Miami, we got heat culture because this is how we do things. We do this from A to B to C. We ain't skipping no steps. We don't care who you are. What's Wizards culture?
They don't have one.
That's so KG. I'm gonna take it back, even though this is off topic. This is why I said the Corey Kispert comments were damning. Because he said in the thing, he told you. Now let's fast forward back to where we are now. What's Ted looking for? Who's Ted interviewing? I know Trey John got interviewed. I know a couple other guys got interviewed. And I'm gonna get off this and get so we can get to the other game one. But who you interview and what you ask them, you gotta set up the floor plan. You know what I'm saying? If for me, I love 6'8" wings. I will draft a bunch. If you 6'8", you athletic, you play on the wing, we can find you a shot. I'm gonna take a chance on you. That's what I like. That's gonna be in our culture. We're gonna run every day 3 miles. That's our culture. The Wizards don't have a culture. I can't put my hand on anything and say, I swear my God, I swear the truth, the whole truth, that this is the way the Wizards do things. I can't do that. I really feel like the Wizards are like, you ever seen that cartoon where the dudes, it's probably like Pluto or one of them jokers, and they in the ship, and the ship started leaking water, and they putting fingers here and putting fingers there. I don't want to say what the term is because that term, the real term, has some connotation to it in the other worlds. So I'm not going to say he put his fingers in, right? But he put his fingers in. And
I had to use that word earlier this week for work purposes. I had to use it in the report.
But I'm not. Right. I want my word to get misconstrued here. So yeah. So that's what I feel like the Wizard culture is. So that's the struggle for them. And that's why at 8, they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know if they're going to trade Bill because they don't have a culture established. And the first thing this president that comes in has to do is establish a culture. And I'm done. And Lakers are winning tonight. It's going to be I think LeBron gets 30. I think AD gets 30. And Austin Reeves going to give you 25.
Well, like I said, you got 23 from Reeves with 8 assists. LeBron almost gave you a triple-double, 26, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. AD with the 40 burger and 10 rebounds. Good old double-double. 17 from Roy. But on the other side, Aaron Gordon gives you 12. Michael Porter Jr. gives you 15 and 10 rebounds. Jokic gives you the triple-double. 34 points, 21 rebounds, and 14 assists. Jamal Murray gives you 31. KCP, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, gives you 21. Brown gives you 16. Uncle Jeff Green gave you 3. They went with a short bench. They only went 3 deep on their bench. But the Lakers only went 3 deep.
But that's where we are now.
This is how you know you in the playoffs. This is playoff basketball, baby.
Well, if you look, every box score, there's in every box score, you see it the same way. It's only 3 or 4 guys that are even on the box score.
And you know something? Phil Jackson was probably, if that first coach I can remember, probably not the first coach. He's the first coach that I can remember that would go to a short bench once you hit the conference finals and the NBA finals. He would go short, and he would go. His rotation was maybe 7 or 8 because you know.
But that's always been basketball. I always tell people anyway. Like if you're in a situation, and as athletes, I've been in situations. I know you've been in situations where you've even played places, and like it's funny how if you play on certain teams, when everybody's there, the team plays one way. But when it's like that core 8 or that core 9, and they're the only ones that stay on that game day, that team and that game goes so different because you know what you know about the man next to you. You ain't got no guessing games. You ain't knowing nothing else. And maybe some guys might not be in the best positions, but you know if he's doing this, I can play off of this, or I can do this. So I used to always say I didn't mind the game, like whether it was, we was in a 7-man or 8-man, and we only had like 10 or 11 people. I loved those days because I knew what I was getting from the guy beside me for the most part, especially if it was the regulars. Like if it was our regulars, I already know what we're doing. I ain't worrying about it. I ain't got to look to the sideline to figure out if I'm in for the next situation. And I think when it comes to this, it's the same thing as a coach. You know what your 8 going to do. And now sometimes if you get the 9, you know what 9 is? 9, and this is where I talk about, this is why I think Doc got fired. Because he should have had number 9, or he had a guy. He used to do this with Eddie House. This is why I was so big on Doc getting fired. It's because he found Eddie House, and Eddie House was kind of his spark plug. But he never got a spark plug in Philly because he had to put Maxey in the starting lineup. So Maxey would have been the spark plug. But it's Maxey, Harden starting, and then you got the dude that don't score, number 17 with all the shoes.
PJ.
I know his name. I just refuse to say it right now. So it's just when you have those type of lineups, you got to find a guy, and sometimes that guy isn't the 9th guy. Sometimes that guy's the 10th or 11th guy, and you just got to put him out there and say, "Hey, I'm a sink or swim with you. I'm a ride or die with you." I knew it wasn't Shake Milton or Melton, whatever his name is, Felton Melton. I don't know, but it wasn't him because he killed me on my parlay. So nah. But that's the thing. Like you got to find that guy to get you that bump. You know what I'm saying? Walker did it last series against the Warriors. He gave you 15 in the fourth. Yep. You weren't expecting him to give you 15 in the fourth.
Not at all.
So that's how it goes. But you got to be, as a coach, like that's the thing with coaching. Everybody talks about coaching. Some people say coaching don't make a difference. And when I hear that, I know either you played for bad coaches or you thought it was always on you. And it's not. Because a coach can tweak something in a heartbeat. And once that tweak is, if that tweak is right, y'all killing people. So that's, yeah. And that's the perfect segue to the best coach in basketball, Eric Spoelstra, going up against
who is the coach in Boston now? It ain't Emi Udoka.
Oh no, it ain't. Oh, no. Well, I think his name is like Mazzulla, something like that.
We were talking about Mount Rushmores. Give me your Mount Rushmore for Denver real quick.
I'm biased. It's Carmelo Anthony, Alex English, Fat Lever, and I think Dikembe.
I would say Dan Issel, Alex English, Jokic, and Antonio McDyess.
I didn't know we were doing current players. I don't like putting, when I say Mount Rushmore, I always think of.
I think Jokic deserves to be on that because DJ said something. He said in 10 years from now, you're going to see a number 15 jersey that says Denver on the front. You're not going to have any question that on the back it says Jokic. It's not going to say Anthony. It's going to say Jokic.
That's true. That's very true.
So
who said that?
B said that. The boss BJ said that.
Well, the boss is a smart man.
Flipping over to the east side because we already did the best in the west.
East side, outside, we'll stand and oh. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I gotta do something, man. I'm ready for the night. I'm so jacked up.
You should be.
You would think I was playing tonight.
Man, I don't know what's going on below your camera. You might be getting your ankles taped right now. I don't know.
Man,
look,
you lucky.
You can have your backdrop as anything. You could be sitting in Denver right now for all I know.
They don't want a 275-pound 5'8" point guard.
Khalid El-Amin. That's all I got to say.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Gave everybody hope.
Oh, don't do that. No, don't do that. That has history. Don't do that. You can't say that. I'm sorry.
Got you.
Oh, I can't escape it. Let's just say my boys, because we were in college at the same time. So Khalid, I think, was a sophomore in 98. So in 98 was the year they were at MCI for the tournament. So I'm literally like a couple feet from him. It's him, Rip, and the whole squad because they sitting in the section next to us. But before that, like we was watching the game one day. My boy like, yo, 42. I think he was 42. He's like, yo, Elamine. Yo, he remind me of somebody in his room. And I'm like, here we go with the bullshit. Here it come. Here it come. Short, stocky guard. That's me. Yeah, man.
Hey, when he came to the Bulls, I was happy. I just wish we would have got more out of him. But
let's stay focused, man. Let's stay focused.
LIB. The Heat take game one, 123-116. Jimmy Buckets. I'm sorry, Jimmy G Buckets. The G stands for Gets. Gave you 35. 20 from Bam. Vincent gave you 15, as well as Struss and Martin. And Lowry gave you 15.
Vincent, I'm telling you, Vincent is my favorite Heat player. I know you got Jim G on the team, but I call Vincent Baby. I'm sorry, what's Derek Fisher? I call him Baby Fish.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me so much of Fish. Like he's not a guy that's going to give you anything fancy, but he's got enough dog and enough fight that he's going to be there no matter what. And you might cross him up, you might get yours, but he's still going to be there fighting every play, every time. And that's what I love about this Miami team. Now, the only problem I have is I got a stat for you. I wish we had stat of the day. But there's a stat that like Boston's like 11-11 in the postseason at home. That's not good. That's not good at all. Other thing, for the people in the world like Chris Russell, especially Chris Russell, my guy, it's a 7-game series. This ain't the NCAA tournament. Let's not like dog Vegas for having Boston as the top team, as the favorite to win this because Miami won game one. There's been plenty of times this thing called a gentleman's sweep. So let's not get too hype about game one, winning game one, and start patting yourself on the back because the team that you picked won. Like this is a 7-game series for a reason. Shout out to Lisa Salters. This is a 7-game series for a reason, and we got to stay focused on that. Like, even though they won game one, game one is always weird to me because sometimes it sets the tempo for the home team or the team that won. Sometimes it sets the tempo for the team that lost because now they know, all right, I got to respect these boys. We got to buckle our chin straps because they're not playing. They're not faking tonight or any night. And I think that's the beauty of Jimmy Buckets is Jimmy has this way of permeating confidence through everybody on the team. So when Jimmy walks in, it's almost like he got the glow. You know what I'm saying? He might be show enough. He ain't Leroy because Leroy ain't had nobody with him. So he got to be show enough. And all his followers, when you ask them who the baddest, in Miami, he say Jimmy Buckets. Am I the realest? They say I'm Jimmy Buckets. Who's the baddest mofo on this side of town? All the Heat players say Jimmy Buckets. Then I might be over some of y'all head because y'all too young for that, but that's the key to this. Like Jimmy has this team believing, and Bam ain't a bad sidekick. Bam ain't Robin. He more like if it's Thor, it's Thor and Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a bad sidekick type of thing. It ain't Batman and Robin. Like we ain't doing this. We doing like this.
So Batman and Nightwing?
I don't know DC comics like that. So hey, DC.
But I'm not even going to explain it.
You ain't got to because I'm not. So see, comics came in when Josh came along. So he's the formation. You had to consult him for that reference.
Well, then that's a conversation him and I have to have because I
Yeah,
would love to
definitely.
know where does he what pedestal does he put Nightwing on?
You know what? If I can arrange it, maybe Sunday morning, the pre-show is you and him. Because I need him to start doing stuff like that anyway. So I'll check with his agent, see if he's available. And if he's available, I'll work something out. You know what I'm saying? I gotta negotiate with the kid. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of, he gave a sermon last week, so he kind of big time on me. So I gotta make sure, he don't need no collection plate or anything like that before he come talk to his dad and everybody.
Is there one? Is there one?
Yes, indeed. He out here giving benedictions. You know what I'm saying? If the words today have touched your heart, and you need to turn your life over to Jesus. I'm sorry.
On the flip side, you got the Celtics. Tatum gives you 30. Williams gives you 14. Jaylen Brown gives you 22. Smart gives you 13. Brogdon 19. 11 from White. 7 from Horford. They got the scoring, and it's diverse. Everybody can score. Everybody in this rotation can score. Only one that didn't score that played was Pritchard. But he only played 12 minutes compared to 21 from White. And then after that, everybody else is in the I'm sorry. Williams played 25, and then after those two, everybody's in the 30s and the 40s after that.
What was the final score?
123 to 116.
There's your issue.
If
Boston can score with everybody, but Boston's kicker is they've got Brown, they've got Smart, and those guys can lock you up. And I don't like Boston playing in the 120s a lot. I prefer them to play in the 110s and the 100s because their defense can be suffocating with Horford, Smart, and company. That their shooting will always carry them. The problem is when you're shooting lets you down sometimes because in those certain possessions. Because I saw this team the other week against the 76ers. I think my man Tatum was 1 for 10 at the time. Bettors, because I'm in a group with some bettors, people that put money on games, and they had him with four 3-pointers. And he came out in that fourth quarter. I think he hit 4, may have hit 5. But when he hit the first one, I knew the series was over for Philly. Like I've never seen it. I have seen it, but there was a point where that three that he hit snatched the soul from the 76ers. And I'll get into that more when we have a discussion on why Doc got fired. But that was the soul snatcher. And then it just was like it was over after that. And then in this series, what I think happened was Miami just hit them and kept hitting them. And they never let off the gas. So Boston never got a chance to recover. And the difference is because they played Philly the series before. And what Philly likes to do is they'll get out, but they'll relax. They'll stop playing hard. They won't go after that loose ball because it's not cool or it's not their job. But the difference is this team, every loose ball means something to them. Every loose ball puts food on this team's table. Because this isn't Tyler Hero's out. And is there somebody else? So now we're on their 4th and 5th best players instead of their 3rd best player. So that 4th and 5th guy, they hungry. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You putting blood and all that stuff in their food so they can eat. So they ready. They drooling at the mouth when they see it. These dudes are dogs. They hunters. They ready.
Where's Duncan Robinson?
Duncan Robinson is on. All right, so this is what happened. He's in the witness relocation program. Okay? That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's bad enough right now if you ever see Duncan in public, you know what I'm saying, and he's going to a bank, he's got a ski mask on because he's stealing his money right now. So that's the problem. Is like even if he was playing better, I don't know if they win because I think the guys that are showing up right now, Strauss and all those are the guys that's going to carry them through. This team is all about their heart. And the thing that Boston has to do is find a way to break their will in this 7-game series at some point. And it only has to be, as long as Boston keeps it even 3-3, that one game, that decider, whatever it is, it might be game 5, it might be game 6, whatever that side is, they gotta break their will at some point. That's the only way they beat Miami is by breaking their will.
Let me throw this out there. Just pull my coat and follow me on this one.
Okay.
Boston and Miami are two teams that were 85% overall organically built.
Right.
I think Eric Spoelstra, and I used to always give Eric Spoelstra a ration of shit because I said, I got to give him shit because he stopped me from getting the title 4 years ago.
Okay. I understand that.
But Eric Spoelstra's journey to becoming one of the top head coaches in the league, like this dude has been around for a lot of historical events, one tragic, but a lot of historical events in his career. And I'm like, yo, this dude's a really, like, I looked at it, I was like, this dude's a really damn good coach.
He's the best coach in the league.
We still got Pop in the league, bro.
Yeah, I'll take him over Pop. I will take him over Pop.
Leave the wacky tobacco alone.
Nah, it ain't wacky tobacco, dog. The dude is getting numbers. So it's Bam and Jimmy Buckets.
That's your 1-2.
Everybody else that comes on that court, you gotta. I guarantee you've either Googled or did a search to figure out who the hell this joker was and what school he came from. And the bad thing is most times you don't even know what school they came from because they're not top tier names. So it's not like, huh?
You got the podcast boys reaction. They throw out a name out there. You go, who?
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. His mom be like, that's my baby. Everybody be like, who the hell is this nigga? Excuse my language. I ain't mean to say that. I'm sorry. But who the heck is this dude? But, I just Chris Broussard, our podcast.
Well, look, you must have hit the one I dropped early. But okay. I dropped one earlier, so.
All right, cool.
But this is going to be a tough series. I think this one's going to go 7. I think the West is 6. This one's going to go 7.
Yeah, Lakers in 6.
Somebody called Miami the greatest 8 seed of all time. I can't give them that yet. If they reach the heights of the 99 Knicks, then we can talk.
The Knicks made the finals that year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was the finals without Patrick Ewing.
Okay.
And I felt so bad for Pat that year.
99, is that the year Houston hits the shot in Miami off the glass or something like that?
Was that 99? No. That was 2000.
We got let's put a pin in that so we get accurate.
Yeah.
Let's make that our,
because that was the floater. Yeah.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because Miami was the 8 seed and New York was the 1. That's the only reason I'm thinking that.
Yeah, because Houston hit that. That was the same series, if I'm not mistaken. PJ Brown flipped Charlie Ward.
Yeah, and then ended up. Yeah, that's the same series. And then ended up around Alonzo's ankle.
Yep. I think that was 2001. That was in 2001. But they had a rivalry. But once Pat Riley left New York and went to Miami and took over down there, that's where the rivalry started because he started poaching players out of New York.
Right. Because
he got Anthony Mason down there.
Then it became culture. It's all about, again, we keep going back. Like, I talk about certain things for a reason. I always talk about types. You know what I'm saying? We all got types. You know what I'm saying? If you look at, like, the people I've dated, the women I've dated, I got a type. You know what I'm saying? If you look at, and I say that because I'm getting to a point.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping the first breadcrumb so you can find the second. When you watch the Pittsburgh Steelers and you watch their outside linebackers, they got a type. All right. When I watch the New England Patriots and they pick running backs, even though I don't like some of their running backs, they got a type. When I watch the Miami Heat play, they got a type. So when I watch the Spurs, they got a type. And I say that because these successful franchises, what they do is they put players that they believe in into their system. It's a plug and play. And as long as that person fits your culture, all you're doing is just putting them and setting them up for success. They're not adjusting anything. They're doing is that you actually allow them to do the things they do best. When I see the Washington Commanders, the Washington Redskins, the Washington football team, when I see them struggle, I think about LeVar Arrington and how they put a round peg in a square hole. The only person that got the best out of him was Schottenheimer.
Marvin Lewis.
Wasn't that Schott? Oh, okay. Marvin Lewis was that right after.
Yeah.
That's what Marvin tried to make him put his hand in the dirt. He wasn't really comfortable with that. If anything, Marvin should have made him stand up and be just a regular edge rusher. But that's a whole different story.
Yeah. But Marvin Lewis got the best out of him.
Right. Then, if you think about the William Jacksons of the world, you think about the Josh Normans. It's not a fit. If it don't fit, you must have quit. That's all I'm saying. It's that. It's gotta fit the situation. And that's what the problem is with some of these teams, is these teams that struggle don't have a way of life. You know what I'm saying? I almost broke in the Facts of Life theme song, but I'm not gonna do that to you. But they have to have a way. And if the way is the truth and the truth is the light, then you gotta see the light at some point in time. That's all. And with this franchise, we haven't seen the light in so many years because we ain't got the truth and we ain't seen the light. You about to write that down? That's gonna be a.
Oh yeah, you already got that. You know that. Yeah. Look, when you talk about types, if you notice, Pat Riley has a type. What's his type? Dominant bigs.
He likes a big, right? Pat, there's another type to that too.
Hold on, Kareem, Pat, Shaq. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Zoe first, then Shaq.
Nah, well, yeah. I forgot about that.
He had 4 Hall of Fame big men that he coached. Mm-hmm. And out of those 4, he won rings with all. Well, he won rings with 3 out of the 4.
That's a foul. I'm sorry.
He won rings with 3 out of 4. So Pat Riley has a type.
That's the key to all this, man. Is when you start watching guys and you watch film. So like this year, when we got to this is part of the reason you remember draft day. I grabbed my hat. I was frustrated with Gonzalez, but as the week wore on, I accepted Forbes more and more. And there was a reason, because this team likes Juice is 6'2", 6'3", 200 pounds. Forbes is 6'1", 180 right now, probably, maybe 190. Like, they're starting to grow types. So that's my corners. I already know what my type is at corner. And bringing it all the way back to basketball is, like, teams have to start figuring out the type of players that fit their system, because you just start drafting guys and those guys don't fit. It's a reason why the Tony Parkers, the Manu Ginobili's, and the Boris Diaw's fit San Antonio, because they were a very cerebral offense. You get cerebral guys playing in a cerebral offense, it's gonna do its thing. It's gonna happen naturally. It's gonna grow organically. You get guys that work hard playing in the hard-working system, it's gonna work. And that's what Miami does.
I'll give you that. Lakers are already underway.
5-0.
5-0. You already said Lakers in 6. You said Lakers take this game. Yeah. Tomorrow night, 8:30, we got Boston versus Miami. Who you taking in that one?
Boston.
So
I think Boston has to realize they're at home and they're the better team. And like really, like I would play. See, this is where the mental part of being a coach comes in. Because I would play certain songs like "You're the Best." You know what I'm saying? Ain't no hold, like you can't hold me back. Just certain things just to start, because I'm building a theme in your head. And I know that ain't a song because I messed up the thing in the song. But go ahead.
I would play Kenny Loggins' "This Is It."
There you go. You know what I'm saying? We the best.
Oh, I'm old school. But that song,
but you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I'm building a mind. Like I would literally see. This is where I might be Zen, I might not be Zen, but I would send a playlist to my players, and every song would talk about how like we the best, we the baddest, we the greatest, like whatever it is. It'd be the greatest love of all be on there. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in the middle of the mix, because you gotta know this
You're
is
the greatest.
best. You know what I'm saying? I might even put a thing of wrestling interviews. You know what I'm saying? You know where Bret Hart says. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Ric Flair tells you it's the best thing going today. Like I need you to be in that mindset tomorrow night. I need you to understand that this is the best we have. We are better than them. They can't F with us.
Ron Artest champions.
Huh?
Ron Artest champions.
Yeah. Meek Mill champion. I
just don't like Meek Mill's voice.
I don't care. That champion. Woo.
His voice is like nails across.
I don't even care about the voice. That's when that song hit.
That's just me though. I mean, he's talented, but it's just like I just don't like.
I get it. I get it all, but I'm just telling you, man. Like we creating a mindset from the second these dudes wake up. Yeah, and it's probably gonna be the first thing that hits their phone. I might be up at 5 a.m. Like, because I need Boston to understand they're the better team. And if they don't understand that, then they got a problem. They're gonna let Miami steal this from them.
But Miami is Miami, and Miami is not a slouch team.
They're not a slouch team. I'm not even saying that, but you gotta make them understand. You gotta make them feel the pressure of the moment.
If Miami goes up and wins game 2, you can go ahead and call it 4-1.
Nah.
I think it's going 7, but if Miami wins game 2, I'm saying 4-1. And I wasn't wrong last round.
Okay. I'm gonna let you do your thing, but I'm just saying right now from the break, I don't see Boston losing this. Boston just can't. Ooh, I like that adjustment.
Well, let me
made an adjustment.
We did Mount Rushmore. Let me give me the Mount Rushmore for Miami before we jump into the wrap it up.
The Heat?
Yep.
Oh. Glenn Rice, Alonzo, D Wade, and I think LeBron has to get one just for the title brand.
I was with you with Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice is he was my sleeper. Yes, Glenn Rice.
But Glenn Rice goes because he's the foothold. I think he was a scoring leader until Dwayne Wade came along, if that served me correctly. But I don't want to. Hold on. We're gonna go with allegedly and put my quotes up because I don't want that to be taken as factual information.
Understand? I got Glenn Rice because that's where I first heard of Glenn Rice was when he was with Miami. That was before he got traded to Charlotte. Zoe, D Wade, that 4th spot. I racked my brain and said, "Who am I leaving out?" And I thought about it. I was like, Tim Hardaway.
I don't know if I will put him there, but I understand it wholeheartedly and completely.
I got to give it to Mr. UTEP 2-step, another point guard that's better than Chris Paul.
Ooh. All right, so it's 12. Oh, that's a charge. That better be a charge. That's got to be a charge. Mr. Ref, can we get a charge? Can we get a charge?
Mr. Police Officer, what's going on over there? I got to get
the bad thing about it is that's exactly how I used to sound when I talk to refs. I'm like, come on, ref, give me a charge on that one. He's like, nah. I was like, come on, man. Help brother out. But no, so it's 13-12. The Nuggets just hit a run. They get themselves back in the ball game.
Yeah.
But these jokers can score on a different level, and it's I give them props. We can't. That's why I say the guys, the outside guys mean something in this series, is because Denver's got enough scoring in other positions that you got to dominate with your best 2.
we come to the end of the show. Time to wrap
Yes, sir.
it up. I will say this. It's a pleasure doing this show every week. I was geeked up to get in this thing today, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was super geeked. If you missed the beginning of the show, please catch the playback on every streaming platform because I feel I made a good point.
No. So I know one of the, I don't know if it's long enough to be a reel, but you're gonna have to figure that out. But I know the KG beef is a reel for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's several reels.
Yeah. I don't know how long the reels are because
1 minute.
I'm not in production.
1 minute. All our reels are 1 minute. But before we get out of here, I know you're a wrestling fan. You grew up in the business. Superstar Billy Graham passed away yesterday. I made the comment and get deeper into it on Saturday night because I will be at this present point filling in for the WrestleManiacs. Not sure who's joining, but I'll be filling in. But I don't count it as a filling in because I am.
Yeah, you're running the WrestleManiacs.
So I will be doing the show right now.
It's like, all right, so if Don Rodriguez is Michael P.S. Hayes and the sumo, I gotta give him Terry Gordy, then I forget the other dude's name, but you're the third person in the group. If you guys are the Shield, Seth Rollins is Don Rodriguez, Reigns is the Nubian, and you're Moxley. Like you're the guy that does the dirty work in the group, whatever the group is.
And you're thinking of Buddy Roberts,
yes,
or Jimmy Garvin, whichever one.
Nah, it's Buddy. I don't do the Freebirds without Buddy. Don't count to me. They're not the Freebirds.
Well, that's like me and the Four Horsemen. On Tully, Ole, Rick. All the other iterations, I really don't count it. Right. You got Chris Benoit in there. You got Malenka.
I don't count any of those. Yeah.
But superstar Billy Graham passed away. I always say that if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had Hollywood Hogan.
No, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Hulk Hogan. I'll say it that way because I feel like the way the superstar talked in his preambles, in his vignettes, in his interviews, he gave way to what Hulk Hogan became. And I don't discredit, and I don't want to sound like I'm discrediting Hulk for who he was, but he was the next in line. Like superstar Billy Graham, I think his only thing was his injuries derailed a lot of his career. And I think wrestling wasn't on that platform yet. Like the thing was he would be the bridge to get us to Hogan. You know what I'm saying? He would be the bridge to get us to the Hogan, to the Flairs, because he had that persona. And then I'm not trying to leave out the guys before that. All the older guys, the real Nature Boy and all that stuff. I'm not trying to leave that stuff out. But what I'm trying to say is, like, as we started to modernize wrestling to get us to where we are now, he was the bridge of that superstar that showed up on TV that everybody identified with. And they would do the voice. You know what I'm saying? You'd be superstar, Billy Graham, whatever you would do. That's the first ones you start emulating. And then it became Hogan. And then like there's a great story on Hogan on it's not Vice. I want to say it's A&E that you might want to check out. But it just shows his progression. Because you start seeing Hogan go from the Mid-South to the Midwest. And then all of a sudden, when he got to the East with Vince, like Vince just wouldn't let him go. And then Vince kind of honed that whole persona and like nurtured it because it was like the Incredible Hulk. It was Incredible Hulk Hogan. Then it became Hulk Hogan. And then everything started to go downhill after that, after the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden. And the I'm a Real American and that whole thing. So for Superstar, I always want to say he was the guy that got us to this point. Like, I think he made promoters understand that if you push a guy as the lead, as the showstopper, that everything else can come behind it, and you can get great success from it.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you with that. My thoughts will come on Saturday.
Oh shit!
Look, okay. Certain things you just don't follow up on.
I got you.
So
you gotta let it breathe. I got you.
I learned that a long time ago. Pastor that of a church I went to, guest pastor would come in and they would always say, you know, you the home pastor, you gotta give remarks. She would stand up and she would say, with a sermon like that, you don't come behind nothing like that.
I got you.
Well, it's time to go home or it's time to go eat. She wouldn't say nothing else. So it's about time to go eat because we already home. And I know the Midnight Rider got to order his dinner for this game if he hasn't already. I'm getting ready to something to eat.
I'm too smart because I know sometimes we drift.
So I know I need to find me something to eat. So I'll say this. I'll catch y'all on Saturday night for the Midnight Rider on this side. The Midnight Rider, I'm the big guy KG. We don't do no overtime, y'all. We are out of here.